Hello everyone and welcome to episode 23 of building my dream park in theme park Tycoon 2. So in today's episode we will be hopefully finishing the queue and the station. That's my main goal for today. So last episode we made a few of these containers, tried some things out and we came up with this. I made this door. We'll probably be copying this to a lot of containers. There also is going to be a second, story to the containers, second floor, I don't really know. There's just a second container going to be on top of this one. So that's going to be really cool when you're like flying over the containers with this inversion. I hope it's going to fit, but let's get straight into that. So first of all, the queue. How are we going to let that go? What I'm planning is probably a hole somewhere in this wall. For now I'm just going here. So the queue will be going of course a little bit zigzag right here so you can see the station. Then we'll go outside here and we'll probably go around here, through here, and then the entrance will be around here, and then this will be leading to the next area that's going to be right here. I don't know if it's going to be this big or if it's going to be changed. I don't know yet. I don't know if we're going to be doing the ride today, but I saw some really cool ideas, but like cranes and some containers, like the shape being dead or being held up with containers. Really cool, so I'm probably going to do it in a future episode. So let's figure out how we are going to do the queue. I'm definitely just going to use the normal old queue paths, that's probably the best, and I guess also just the concrete paths, that's probably the best. So a little bit of a zigzag, and then I hope, yeah, that fits perfectly. Epic. Alright, then we'll probably add like a small zigzag section here. We'll move through here, and then I want here, yeah, something like this, and then I guess another small zigzag section. That's probably one too far, and then the entrance right there. I think something like this can work. Quite a long queue, but yeah, of course it's quite a big coaster, so I think it's needed. Of course with this coaster I don't really have a queue because I was just too lazy to make one, but I guess this one is quite good. Now let's make some of these overhangs for like the sunlight, same as we did right here. So I'm just going to copy it over, sort of course not going to make it exactly the same. What we also can do is use this container to get it attached, but what I need for that is actually a second container on top of it. That's a little bit too big of a gap. This is going to be really interesting on seeing how I'm going to do this. 0.2. No, that's too much, then it's 0.1. Because I need like a really small gap in between the containers so you can actually tell they're on each other. Of course, on the edges there will be like a pole being like this, sort of this, so it doesn't float really. But when you look on this picture, as you can see right there, you see like a really small gap between the containers. So I am going to try and add that. But that also means we have to do a lot of parameters on the 0.1 degree angle thing, and that's going to be a big pain, but I can survive it, hopefully. Okay, and that barely fits. Okay, that's great to see it just fitting. So I hope I can fit 1, 2, maybe 3 containers under here. That will be very poor. And we also of course need a floor in this container. Not that you're going to see it of course, but maybe when you're looking up under here you can maybe, I don't know, see the floor through here. I don't know what you're doing then. Now that I'm doing this, actually this container is not going to be the same color actually. I guess I am going to make this one a yellow container. Definitely not the same color of yellow, or maybe an orange one. Yeah, an orange container can be good. Yeah, I want orange. And this one is going to be this blue. No, that's this one. Yeah, this one, a different shade of blue. And as you can see, it's actually already starting to become really dark in here because of the double roof. So that's really good to see. So we can add some really nice spotlights, and I'm definitely going to add a higher station in here so it will be too high. That's why I really wanted to have like 2 containers on top of each other. But as you can see, we now have some containers and the hole. That's great. Of course there's going to be something black in there. Actually, let's do that just now so you cannot really look through it. And that's going to be somewhere here so it doesn't stick through the roof. Probably here. And that's going to be fully black. And as you can see, that looks really cool. You can see a little bit of black, but I don't really care. Yeah, I'm actually really happy with that. Let's add the final detail real quick. And that just barely fits when I add this last trim. Does it actually connect? Oh my god, yeah, that's that just fits. Perfect. And when we have the roof of this, I'm definitely going to add some support so I can sort of see how that's going to be. No idea if I have enough time to also add supports today, but if not, we will definitely do it next episode. And I don't think I will be adding a second container on top of this one, just to add a little bit of variety, but there will definitely be a second container on top of this one. That's why I also didn't add a roof on these, because there's going to be a second container on top of it, which will not have like a floor in it, so the roof will be like this high for this, but kind of looks really cool. But that also means I have to add a wall here, and this is just simply copying over all the primitives and trying to do the same. Okay, and now we are going to make the door, which has these on top, and then we have these sideways primitives poles like these, and it has one in the middle. And now we are going to add some of these hinges. One was right there, the other one is there. Same for the bottom here, one here and one there. Other side, and of course the handles itself, and if I'm right we use some pickaxes for that. We actually did. Place these like that, and of course it is going to be some sort of orange. Yeah, why not just the exact same color of orange. And now we have this amazing looking door, and now we need to add way more containers. Yay. Okay, also let's fix this wall really quick, and then we can add some decoration and some theming for this part of the queue. And I know in real life there's also a small gap in between these containers, but I am just... the thing is, if I make small gaps in between here and add the whole full door, you cannot have a station building in here. So you just have to think, it's just so pushed together there, you can just not see the door. And now adding the last trim on top of here. And now these containers are also done, and I have to say, I pretty like it. I like the gap in between here. It makes it feel a lot more realistic. First, before I can do actually anything here, we need support in this small area. So I cannot add theming and then add the supports, because then I will be building through the theming. So let's add the support. So let's see what primitive we're going to use for that. Definitely, of course, a pole. But what size of pole? This one is, yeah, definitely too thin. I think I will be going for this one. And the first support will be directly in the middle of this area. So right here, which seems pretty good actually, like that. And then it will go, that's maybe a little bit too much, right here. And of course we need this color. What color are the supports going to be? I guess, yeah, this gray is probably the best thing to do. And now it hasn't connected, so we're going to use this smaller one and connect it just like that, a little bit more up, right in there. Color it, and now we have this amazing looking support. Now we need one more around this area. And now that I'm thinking of it, if I'm right, you actually go a little bit to the ground here. So we will be having to delete, think around this concrete. Yeah, that seems alright. Maybe one more, and we'll have to add like a small dip in the ground. But now that with these two supports, we can actually detail this a little bit more. And I definitely want an overhang for the sun, because when you're standing here, you're just getting sunburned and you're just frying alive. So for that we will be using, yeah, some sort of the same colors of the other, yeah, overhang that we make, just to keep it a little bit the same. And I think I'm just going to add an overhang all the way attached to the containers. And we're going to connect it like this, and then the upside down one here again, or actually here. Now wait, I did it wrong, I guess. And connect it like this. So we have, yeah, some sort of nice pattern in it. I kind of like this. And we're probably just going to use the same fences, because these were actually quite good. And now of course we need some sun protection. And I know I used glass here, but I think I want to use something different here. And that is, if I can find it, these one, mesh roofs. I think these one can really fit in here, especially if you give them the right color. So if you just paint them like that, see, these actually look kind of good. No, this is actually not a good color. I think this, yeah, that's better. I think we have to put them a little bit down. Probably this, default snapping. And maybe it doesn't cover that much, but I hope it does enough. And for the second floor, we'll just do it like that. And it looks very industrial. Yeah, I kind of like it actually. As you can see, yeah, it actually makes quite some shadow. It's actually quite dark in here. Nice. Now, if you're in a port, there are of course lots of crates, oil barrels, all stuff like that. And of course, we have quite a lot of props that can fit in this theme. And these oil barrels, anvils, just a lot of stuff. So I think we're just going to add a lot of small detail all over here. I think these metal crates just perfectly fit in this area. So let's give them like a good color. Of course, they're going to get different colors. Yeah, I think some blue ones, some green ones. We can actually add a lot of them. Let's just first place them all over everywhere and then we can give them colors. Okay, now that we have some, let's give them all a color. Green, and then we also want some yellow. And then we want some red, I guess. Yeah, some red through it. And I think like that. Yeah, that gives it a lot of color actually. I really like it. Looks like the English candy. I don't know if you guys know what I mean. And now we're going to add some oil barrels. These have a really nice contrast with the boxes. These are way darker, so that's nice. Of course, we're going to add one that's leaking. And it feels really messy in some sort of way, but I think that also has really some character. Of course, a port is messy, it's dirty, a lot of people work there, things are not being cleaned up. So yeah, I kind of like it how it feels. Just one big chaos and there's just a lot is happening. I also need to add some footers for these supports because now it just looks ugly. Okay, now that we have finished this, let's add a small roof on top of this container. And as you can see, that just barely fits. Now, for the containers in the middle, it is actually quite easy. What I have to do is just add a roof. But first, let's see how much we can add. I don't know if we can add... Okay, I might have to change the track a little bit up so I can add container to it. Because now what we have is another container. I'm just going to paint this one green real quick and this one red. Doesn't really matter. Just goes through that. So let me actually change the track so I can do that. This is probably going to mess everything up. Yep, it definitely is. And this turn is now going to be very sharp, so we have to change this also up. This seems alright actually. Yeah, that seems actually alright. And now it also fits here, so that's amazing. And of course the other wall of the container is going to be right here. So that fits nice. That looks actually really cool when you're just flying over the station building with all these containers. So let's add just a quick roof, and I think I will be adding also a second roof of the container here. Not that there's going to be anything in here, I guess, but it probably just looks a little bit better. So let's just copy this quickly over. What color shall we use for this container? I actually don't know anymore. We have so many colors right now. Maybe just really white. Why not just a little bit of a gray? Yeah, gray. I guess gray. We don't have that color yet. And of course we need some detail on this container. Now the roof. And as you can see, this actually is starting to look really cool with all these containers. We actually have done already quite a lot. Let's add a lot more roofs to all of these. And we also need a wall here. And I think we'll be doing that in a quick time lapse.
already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow.
So as you've seen in the time lapse, I have built a lot of containers. Most of them are of course not yet detailed. I just made the size or the shape of the station that I wanted, and I am actually really happy with the end result. I might want to add even a second layer on top of here, maybe 2 or 3 containers up there, but I'm really happy with that. As you saw also in the time lapse, I have added some stuff that we're going to decorate in the next episode probably, but I am really happy with this. We're quite far with the queue, of course. We have detailed this part. The only part we need to do is still this, but sadly I don't have time for that anymore. And we also of course now have an inside for the station, which is actually quite big if you think about it. Of course it's 2 layers, I can still delete this edge if I need to. The only thing is that yeah, the container is here, so you don't have a lot of space here, but you have a lot of space here. And there's just a lot of space actually for theming all over here. Of course you go through the container and have to fix that. And we also have now this nice looking bridge next to the container, which yeah, looks kind of cool. I really like actually what I built. And I think if you look like at the wheel ports, it is pretty accurate on how it's going to be. And this is going to be the same as on top of the boat right here. Of course there will be not that much containers because the coast is there, but yeah, I'm planning to do something like that. And I am also wanting to have maybe one or 2 containers here and maybe at some other places too, so it just feels not this empty. Sadly, that's all the time I have for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe on my channel, guys. And I will say, as always, goodbye.